Hi. So here we are going to talk a little bit about critical thinking in literature. So first off, we all have to take a literature course, and this is not a standard for a lot of universities. A lot of universities are moving away from literature courses in particular, moving on to other definitions of, critical thinking or cultural engagement or something like that. Um, in Mason, we've actually kept the literature course requirement. Um, we actually just recently voted to keep the literature course requirement. Why is that? Why do we need to sit down and talk about books? Why do we need to do this? So, first and foremost, I want to point you to something that quite possibly we never really look at, and that's the portion of the syllabus that actually talks about the student learning outcomes and what our goal is when we teach literature and why we still teach literature. Um, so there's actually seven student learning outcomes, and you'll get all of them. Don't worry about it. But some of the ones that I do want to point out is, especially when we're talking about critical thinking, is number four, which is to identify and evaluate the contributions of the social, political, historical, cultural context in which a literary text is produced. In essence, by reading literary text, by going through and reading novels, by viewing plays or film, even poetry, any of these literary texts, we're able to get information about the contributions of that social, political environment and culture that produces and helps to produce a literary text. And when we do that, we become much better rounded individuals that are able to adapt in a global society, that are able to thrive in a global society, and actually be comfortable when we get into a global society. Um, we're able to go over to different countries with respect and with those kind of um, identification skills, interpretive skills that come with critical thinking, but on a global level. And that's why we end up reading things and participating in classes like Caribbean women's writers, who look at not only the Caribbean space, but also a gendered understanding that ends up occurring in that Caribbean space or in that kind of constructed space. So let's also kind of think about critical thinking. So the definition of critical thinking would be the objective analysis and evaluation of an issue in order to form a judgment. Now, in literature, in English, and the humanities overall, we don't like the word judgment. So I'm just going to change that word to the word argument. So if we are looking for objective analysis and evaluation of an issue in order to form an argument, that is exactly what we end up doing in literary analysis. When we write a paper, when we write those cultural connection papers or a close reading paper, that is what we are doing, is going through and pulling out information, pulling out textual evidence from a story, from a novel, from a play, whatever, in order to um, have a, a support, a backing for our argument that this text says this thing about this topic. And that's the critical thinking that we're able to develop. And when we're able to do it with something that's a little abstract, like a novel, right? Um, most of it's made up. We're all aware of this. This is what, you know, the novels that we end up reading are. They're stories. But when we're able to do that critical thinking work with something that is made up, that something is, a nonfiction piece, um, or a fictional piece, then we're able to actually do it when we get into other realms as well. When we're able to um, do analysis in history, when we're able to apply these critical thinking skills into economics. All of those things that are much more concrete and real to us, we can apply these skills that we're going to learn in this class to those other classes and be able to carry that critical thinking and that questioning forward of, wait a minute, why does that happen? Why should it happen? Maybe why shouldn't it happen? All of those really fascinating skills that we're going to end up getting. So this is why we are doing this class: literature, um, creative, sorry, critical thinking, um, as a way to explore what it is to be human, ways that we communicate with others about our ideas, our concerns. These are all folded into the literature that we're going to end up reading.